Hey everybody, it's Sultan Shinola coming to you with thoughts for the weekend for this Friday, May 17th, 2013. Economic news always leads off this discussion, if you will. And you know, this week we had what some are dubbing the triple trifecta. We had initial claims soar, they jumped, housing starts plunged, and CPI fell below expectations. Initial claims, rose back up, 360,000. They had been getting down to the low 300,000s. People were saying, see, a sign of the recovery. And right back up. It was quite a big miss, and, they never predict the big misses. They always say, wow, we're shocked. Also, hitting that number was housing starts. That also took a big drop. This is the biggest drop since 2007 in housing starts. What happened in 2007? Something happened in 2007, I don't even remember. It's a long time ago, right? It's in the past, who cares? Nothing to see here. So yeah, housing starts took a big drop, and then you had month-over-month CPI inflation, which fell more than expected. It actually went in negative territory, negative 0.4%. Of course, that includes energy and food, which those are the most volatile of all the components. Even if you take out food and energy, which I don't like to do, even though the government loves to do it, it shows inflation at 0.0 or 0.1% increase, which, for all the inflation hawks out there, that's a pretty minuscule increase, which just gives a lot more fuel to Ben Bernanke to go ahead and just, you know what? See, there's no inflation. Keep printing money. Who cares, right? And with all that, this bad news, of course, the markets are tanking pretty hard. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, actually, with all this bad news, the stock markets are hitting all-time highs. Of course they are, because there is no reality anymore when it comes to the stock market. So if you're basing any of your economic information as far as recovery or depression or whatever on the stock market, you're looking at the wrong thing. Smoke and mirrors, people. Nothing to see here. Move along. One of the things that some people do look at for economics is gold and precious metals, gold and silver, but specifically gold. And one of the interesting things is gold has really taken a beating over the last month or so here. It's gone from its all-time highs back down into the 1375 area, which is pretty low. It's a pretty drastic drop. But I'll throw up this chart here. If you look at it, physical demand for gold is way up. Over the last year, it's increased. It's not an all-time high, but it's almost there. What you see, though, is that the paper demand, that's the trading of gold options on the exchanges, by the big banks and the hedge funds and everything, paper demand is extremely negative, which that's what's driving the price of gold down. The price of gold that you're seeing and that's reported is based on the paper. That's what is being driven down. The physical stuff has almost never been in higher demand. So, you got to look at that and realize, well, when the paper burns up, all you're left with is the physical. So, who knows where we're going to end up. It just depends on what continues to happen with this magical market that we're in. There were some recent reports that came out, the FBI crime data reports and everything, and there was some pretty astonishing information there about guns and how violent our society has become. And it's amazing when you look at it and you break down the numbers. Gun violence is way down, and it has been dropping pretty steadily since 1994. One of the reasons is not because of the gun control laws in this country. You actually look at the report and you look at the states that have the reported highest or best gun control laws according to the Brady Foundation. States like California, Illinois, New York, District of Columbia, they have some of the higher gun violence rates, murders, assaults, robberies. Then you look at states that have some of the lowest ratings of the Brady Foundation, such as Utah and such, and they have the lowest rates of homicide by firearm or aggravated assaults and such with firearm. This is kind of bad news for the gun control people out there. The crime, we need more gun control to reduce crime. Crime that has actually been dropping every year since '94. Their arguments are just whack. I mean, you need to realize anyone that tries to even argue gun control with you to smack them upside the head with some facts. The states with the least restrictive gun laws are the states with the least homicide and murder rates, aggravated assaults with the use of a firearm. So, kind of blows holes in the argument of why we need more gun control in this country. You know, there was a story out of Indiana this last week where a man was awoken in the middle of the night. His door was being broken down. He jumped up, grabbed his gun. The intruder was coming at him, and he shot him. Didn't kill him, just wounded him severely. You know, detained him until the police arrived. And, you know, you think about places in this country where you don't have the right to protect yourself in your home, like, say, well, I don't know, California, where if you shot somebody in your home, you know, if he didn't die, you're probably going to jail yourself. At least every law enforcement acquaintance I have says if you're going to shoot somebody in your home, you make sure you kill him. And anyway, this 34-year-old Cameron Valter, he's, you know, got his firearm. Man's coming at him in his home in the middle of the night. You do what you do. You protect yourself. Put a bullet in him. You know, you can't call a cop and expect them to show up anytime in the next 10 minutes in time to save you or your girlfriend or whoever else is in the house. You know, there's been a lot going on in the last couple weeks with our government. I haven't even done Thoughts of the Weekend because I don't even know where to start half the time. There's just so much going on. You know, you have all this crap going on with the conservative groups being targeted by the IRS. You've got the AP being wiretapped, having their email confiscated, all being done behind the scenes by the Justice Department. It's just amazing that this government is involved in all these scandals right now. You know, and some of the media are just trying to brush it off like, it's no big deal, scandals happen all the time. But these are scandals that really affect our rights and liberties as a society. And what disturbs me the most is they keep asking the president about it. They keep asking top officials, Eric Holder, about these things. And they all say the same thing. I had no idea. I don't know. I did not know this was going on. How would I know? I had no idea this was happening. I swear this is the do nothing, know nothing government. I don't even know why we have a government, right? I mean, why would you continue to employ people who don't even know what they're doing? They don't know what's going on around them. What is the point of having these people control our lives if they have no idea what's going on? Absolutely none. You know, more disturbing, I think, when you look into the IRS scandal where they were targeting Tea Party, 9/11 groups. You know, I mean, there's some pretty clear-cut cases there that are going to be lawsuits when they can prove that, you know, some Democratic groups, supporters of the current administration, were given their tax status within a month of filing. In fact, they were even given the ability to file as a tax non-exempt organization before they even applied for the tax status. And yet, some of the conservative groups have waited 3 years or more before they were allowed to have their status, if at all, after going through a rigorous process where they had to turn over tons of personal information on all their members. You know, what the disturbing part about this is, you know, the employees in Cincinnati that were in charge of this apparent scandal. The ones who were apparently in charge, you know, because low-level staffers. This is all being done by low-level staffers. The upper-level staffers, they're too busy, you know, leading the country club and lifestyle. They don't know what's going on. But these low-level staffers, you know, they just do the same thing. I know nothing. I was just doing what I was told by my bosses. Anybody can say, I don't know, Nazi Germany. People I'm just following orders. I was told to do it, so I did it. It's pretty disturbing. One of the more disturbing aspects of this is that the lady that was in charge of that department, who would grant or deny people their tax-exempt status, she's no longer there. No, she's been given a better job. She's been put in charge of the IRS's department that monitors and oversees the Obamacare legislation. That's right. The woman who was attacking and looking into and scrutinizing all the conservative and Tea Party groups and keeping them from getting their tax-exempt statuses. she's the one that is now leading the office that's in charge of implementing all the taxes and regulations related to Obamacare. Makes you feel all kind of warm and fuzzy inside, right? Yeah. You know, it's increasingly harder and harder out there to get ammunition, bullets, components for making bullets, guns, magazines. The shortage has been quite ridiculous. It's been going on and on and on. It's gotten a little bit easier to get things, starting to find things a little bit sooner. Some people who had watched a couple of videos on the reloading components had reported to me that they ordered some bullets from Extreme and actually got them within 3 weeks. So it seems like the shortage has dried up, or people have just gotten tired of waiting, or they had to pay too much money to Uncle Sam. They don't have enough to buy anything. But this one police chief in Proctor, Minnesota, was having such a hard time trying to find ammunition for his law enforcement to be able to practice and have ammunition on hand to be able to do their jobs and protecting their citizens. Put out a notice to the public saying, you know what, we need ammunition. If anyone can donate, anybody's got any ammunition for us, please, we need some. And you know what, the good people of Proctor, Wisconsin, or Minnesota, I should say, Wisconsin. Whew. Yeah, people in Wisconsin are nice, right? Yeah, there's a couple of you out there. But Minnesota people, they stepped up and helped him, secure, 1,500 rounds of ammunition. A bunch of people chipped in and donated ammunition to the law enforcement. So I just hope when things ever go south or sideways that that police department, for one, will remember who had their backs and who helped support them when times were tough. It's not every day that people will step forward and do that. I know that probably in my area down here in Southern California, I don't know how many people would step up and donate ammunition to law enforcement. But in a small town in Minnesota, I can understand that. Even small towns here in California, police departments are doing their jobs. They're doing the right thing. It's when you get into the big cities that things are not going the way they should be. I'm going to keep it there, nice and short this week. I don't want to get too drawn out into all these things. There's just so much going on. You see the news, you read the internet, you know what's going on. But if any of these stories, had particular interest for you, feel free to do a video response on any of the stories. Go ahead and rant on about it. We'll get it linked up here. Leave a comment down below. We always love the comments. I try to respond to as many of them as I can, so please feel free to leave your comments down below. And just remember to have a good weekend. Memorial Day is coming up, so get all your honeydews up there on the list. If you get them taken care of early, then you don't have to spend your Memorial Day weekend doing them. I ain't getting out of that. So anyway, y'all have a good weekend. SOS out.